gonna call me out for time, fine.
Eddie Edwards joining Honor No More. Is anybody following along with that?
No.
Not really, no.
You guys all suck.
All right, hi everybody. It's Big Papa Grump with Junior and CJ Truth, and welcome to the Border Doom podcast. We're feeling some sort of way because we're missing people, and some we know why, some we don't.
Some we don't care.
So anyway, Tony Khan bought ROH.
Yeah, I hope to God that they don't shut down the whole promotion.
I think they're going to use it like make their own NXT is I think what they're going to end up doing. You know, like a feeder system.
But the only bad thing is the one thing I did like he acknowledged that's a loyal and rabid fan base. Like if you're an ROH fan, you're an ROH fan. There's no questions about that. I don't want to see because he got all the intellectual properties. He got all the. I mean, he pretty much has everything.
He got all in.
He got and he got all the whole library. He even has back to that very first night with Low-Ki, Danielson, and Daniels, which I just don't want to see him get rid of because there's good guys down in ROH that they're not going to get used anywhere else. You know that, I know that, unless they get signed to an AEW contract. But there's just going to be a lot of guys that are going to be out of jobs, which kind of sucks. I don't want them to close the doors.
Well, no, I have a feeling that what they'll do is, you know, there's a lot of guys and men and women wrestlers that aren't getting TV time that are just on the roster. You put them in ROH and you build them up that way, you know, kind of like again like what they were doing with NXT. NXT was like its own promotion. That's what I'm hoping they do.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
I think even with like because we talked last week about technical wrestlers with like Moriarty and Garcia and stuff like that. Josh Woods, that dude is really good. Really good. And he has the pure title, doesn't he? Isn't he the one that has I think he has the pure title.
I can't keep up anymore. I can barely keep up with who has what belt in WWE anymore.
Yeah, I think I want to say he has the pure title, which honestly I love that. It made the matches more interesting with the 3 rope breaks, the 20 count, no close fist to the face. That's old school throwback wrestling, and it's nice to see that they still do that. I don't want to see them get rid of that because
get disqualified if you throw them over the top rope.
Yeah, and it was. Yeah. I mean, that made it fun.
By the way, Junior, that used to be a rule.
Yes.
So the Rumble was just you get disqualified.
Well, no, Battle Royals were different.
Yeah, it was at the same time. WCW when it's separated from NWA. WCW brought that along from the NWA because the NWA that was the longest thing. That's how Flair would win matches intentionally. You know, oh God, there I go. Oh, I went over the top rope. Hey, I win again.
Hey, I win again. Look at me go.
Yeah. That's how he retained titles too. He would get guys so ticked off and then they ended up going over the top rope and then boom, he'd win the match by disqualification.
Yeah, but well, see, my thought is so you've got like AEW Dark, which is what they use to get people exposure and on TV. And a lot of people are like, oh man, once you're on Dark, but like, you know, Cole's been on Dark, Ruby Soho's been on Dark. So there's like name people that actually are on Dark.
Yeah.
But you take a lot of these wrestlers like somebody like Sonny Kiss or, you know, who you don't see on TV very often, Abaddon, you know, some of them, and you can move them to ROH.
Right.
Or even if they bounce back and forth, but you can put them in ROH and they can actually get somewhere in that promotion. And then, you know, once they, you know, you can bring them in again, kind of like they were doing with NXT, not the original like Seth Rollins, Big E era NXT, but, you know, your Ciampa, Gargano, Balor era NXT, where it was basically a little indie promotion where guys were just huge, you know.
I mean,
Asuka was huge. That's where the Iconics, they were huge down there, you know?
Right.
Really were.
I kind of actually would like to see, like, as much as it sucks, and I know we do this podcast because there's no wrestling on Thursdays. But like the guys from Honor No More, God, I hope they didn't sign contracts with Impact. Because, man, I'll tell you what, Matt Taven versus some of those guys, like the bigger guys, Matt Taven versus Darby, Matt Taven versus Sammy, Matt Taven versus Cole, he's a really good dude in the ring and on the.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, because then you can even, because the fact of the OGK is a throwback to, you know, Cole was with Taven in OG or the Kingdom. Hardy was in the Kingdom. Like, so you could bring in and bring in old storylines that have been gone for years, but your rabid fan base, which is AEW, has a more rabid fan base than WWE.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and now, yeah.
And a lot of, a lot of people that have been fans of AEW are your PWGs, your ROHs, your CZWs. You know, those are they're loyal. They're going to those shows. They're keeping up with it. You bring in old storylines, like kind of even like how they did with the first match last night.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So, you know, hopefully, you know, we can see something come out of this. I'd like to see that ROH be its own. I'd like to see it as a separate entity altogether. I don't want to see it be like a developmental thing, but even have a cross-promotional kind of stuff at times.
I think even if it can be both.
Yeah.
You know, you get somebody, let's say just hypothetically, like just for the sake of argument, you get somebody like Cole or Hangman who, you know, kind of got their hands dirty in ROH and whatnot,
right,
and worked their way up, you know, because Cole was huge before NXT. It wasn't huge, but Cole was big before he went.
Well,
went to
especially because of Bullet Club. When he joined Bullet,
but still, it doesn't change the fact that, you know, like, people knew who Cole was. People knew who the Young Bucks were. Then again, they were also doing stuff in Japan, but still, you know, they spent significant time in ROH. So you get, and then once they hit their ceiling in ROH, then maybe, you know, you can bring, you know, okay, now we've now signed so and so, you know, the former ROH champ. You know, you can, even though it's like wink, wink, because we know that, you know, they were signed, they're getting paid by AEW anyways.
Right.
But
Cole's your only 3-time champ, though, right?
I mean, it depends on if they reset the record book now, but
I thought somebody did it too.
Because I know they had the 2-time champ with Joe, with Punk, but I think Cole. I want to Cole's the only one that has 3 times.
Christopher Daniels a 3-time? I thought he got his 3rd.
Yeah, I don't think he ever held the actual world title down there. If he did, oh yeah, he did. But he only
I was gonna say he did,
like a really short time. I think he held it for like and then dropped it.
I thought he was one of the ones that could have gotten it, and he beat somebody that gave it to him. I didn't know. There was a lot of confusing stuff at the time.
Yeah, I kind of stopped paying attention to ROH after, like, you know, your guys like Young Bucks and Cole and Marty.
Yeah, pretty much when AEW was formed, unfortunately.
Well, and a lot of them, you know, a lot of them went to NXT. You know, a lot of them went over to Japan, and ROH was, you know, really with the birth of the AEW and then a lot of the events leading up to that, you know, ROH kind of ended up getting a little gutted.
Yeah.
So they lost a lot of their major names.
PCO doing what he's doing at his age and to the level he's like, I was actually going to say that to you earlier. We haven't seen Destro, wasn't that his name? The manager for PCO.
I think,
or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Make the monster. Like, how fun would it be to see a little faction with like PCO, Abaddon, maybe just for the comedy aspect, Danhausen, like, but that would be fun. You know what I mean? Like, because you already have the Living Dead Girl, Frankenstein's monster, that kind of stuff. You have
very
a lot
nice,
of
very evil demon.
Very nice, very nice, very evil. I'm just sad I haven't got to see him wrestle yet.
Well, I don't think he's cleared yet
No,
because he
think
had
he's just-
he had the broken leg. I think the
Yeah.
the leg's healed, but he's not cleared yet. Like he's not back
Right.
in wrestling shape.
yeah. But I mean, good on it. I'm happy that Tony got it versus the WWE Empire, and the only reason is because of the fan bases that you have. Yes, you have a lot of fans that are rabid fans in WWE, and you have guys like us who are just rabid wrestling fans. We don't care if it's AEW, WWE, New Japan. Like, we just enjoy wrestling for what it is.
There's no impact.
But you know what? I really like some of the storylines they have down.
I
Like,
was gonna make the joke when I started to interrupt you earlier. I was gonna make the joke that's like, yeah, I'm glad they, I'd be upset if or what was it? I really hope they didn't sign with Impact either because it would be nice for them to be on TV. But at least in HD.
But like,
That's the other thing. Where would ROH go? Like, where would it air? Or is
Turner's got plenty of channels.
I would say, is it going to be part of CBS?
Hallmark.
they'll be part of the Turner broadcast system. I mean, you could get them on any of the Turner networks. They have 1,000 of them.
I mean, they could even if they wanted to because they had. I wouldn't say they had success, but it wasn't horrible when they had Rampage on Saturday those couple of weeks. So you could, as long as you're not competing with like the NFL or whatever, or college football, really, you could probably get away with it. I don't know if you'd want to keep them on Saturdays. You're not going to put them on Monday. You're not going to.
No, but there's one day that's always open,
Thursday.
which is
No,
Thursday.
you could put them on Tuesday.
Yeah, but like I said, I want them to keep this as completely, in my opinion. And again, I'm peon in the rest of the world, but I want to keep it as a separate entity because they've done such listen, there's even stories coming out now about, could Cody be leading an ROH invasion?
My phone is bright.
I saw that. But it was only like a source. Like I didn't.
It was like a little snippet that popped up. But hey, you know what?
Yeah,
That'd be really fun to watch. That'd be a lot of fun to watch.
as Stardust. He has to be Stardust while he does it.
We got a great gimmick for you here, kid.
Okay. So
Where do
I just Googled Turner owned networks. So besides the obvious ones like TNT and TBS, we'll just take them out just because they already have.
Let's see it, too.
Obviously CNN's not going to work.
No.
Cartoon Network, no. True
Yeah.
TV, True TV maybe.
See, that's what I was going to say. True TV. I can see.
True would work.
Guess who just texted me? Hold on. Cinemax. Oh,
shit.
Cinemax.
Is that one of those late night specials?
Yeah. Turner has his own sports network.
Is there a
They own
streaming service
own
that they own?
NBC. But anyways,
Damn. Peacock. I was gonna say, do they have a streaming service? I guess that would be Peacock then, right?
oh, apparently it's Uppercut's mom's birthday.
Wow!
That's
Happy birthday, Uppercuts mom! Another excuse not to show up.
on
I
the
mean, it's
third.
not a bad excuse as far as excuses goes. Like that one, I'll accept.
That's the first one we'll take without giving it
Yeah.
a wrath.
I still have not heard from Kevin. So
Yeah. Who cares? Who cares?
yeah.
Because he has terrible opinions anyway. So anyway, what else can we talk about from last night? Because there was a lot of other good stuff.
Well, first of all, okay, I wasn't supercharged for the actual 6-man match, like with the Undisputed Era versus Hangman and two random dudes from the back. But oh, there he is. He
So wait a
says,
minute.
"Yeah." I was like, "All right, hold on."
Somebody I think it was AEW tweeted out the Undisputed Originals. So I'm wondering if they're trying to work that out somehow to make that their new name, like the Undisputed Originals or something like that. But John Silver and Alex Reynolds aka the Beaver Boys, aka Johnny Hungy.
He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, we're 20 minutes in, dummy."
Yeah. You don't talk shit about Alex Reynolds and John Silver.
No, I was just, but the angle at the end with the duct tape and all
Yes.
that made it for me. Like the match to me was like it was good. Like those guys can all go, but I was just like, for most of it, it was
I'm
kind of like
wondering-
I was.
I'm wondering if they'll bring it up on BTE. Because
Yeah,
BTE's always
WTF,
behind.
I thought it was at 9. Only when you dummies
Oh, I never wanted it 9.
are gonna be late.
Stop
Dummy.
I
yelling.
had to the one time. Or I would have just joined the 8:45 one late. I even
Yeah.
threw that as an option too. I was like, if not
But
everybody.
anyways, But yeah, so the tag team battle royal, I was just kind of like, how are the Young Bucks gonna win?
Yeah, that was unfortunately too obvious. But my thing was,
Right.
I mean,
I was
FTR could have
hoping-
won, but
you were going to do the Red Dragon Bucks thing.
Yeah.
Which
You
means that Jurassic Express is just a side piece of that story, which
And
is
that's
unfortunate.
What about the fact though that
this is all staying in the video, by the way.
what about the Darius Martin return?
That was cool.
He looked really good.
But he's not home yet.
I thought they would have. I honestly thought that was going to be the swerve. I thought he was going to get both of them out, or Red Dragon was going to screw them, and then it would have been top.
Yeah,
eight.
I was
But it
thinking the
didn't.
same thing.
I thought
But-
those. I was hopeful.
For after a year off, and
Yeah, first
he-
match back.
Yeah. Well, I know the one thing that I like that he tweeted out about his return. That this is just the start because we're only 20 and 22. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Like Dante, it still blows my mind. 20 years old and he's that good.
Like 10 years from now, those guys are the Young Bucks.
Yes. Oh yeah. If they're not, that's a travesty. That's a shame. Because Darius, what I like about Darius is Dante's got the crazy athleticism, the ability, but Darius is so smooth in transition, even like in snapping off a suplex. But his transition to the next motion, he's like it's just perfect flow, and that goes back to a lot about where they got trained from too. Kennedy and Davari.
And what's and even like watch that match last night, like you could tell there was ring rust, but at the same time, it wasn't overbearing. It's
Yeah.
like it's
Yep.
like okay, he's a little rusty. There's a little bit of like this, that, but he still looked amazing. Like it
Yeah.
did not look like his first match back. It looked like he had taken a year off, and this was like his 5th match back. Which
Yeah.
I think says something about just how crazy good that dude is.
Well,
The amount of times that they said, "Oh, he's been off for a year, so that's a mistake," was so annoying.
Yeah, I know.
but they're trying to come, and I think that comes a lot too. Is they don't want to see people get down on him because Dante has literally skyrocketed up the ranks. Like he's just, if you watch a Dante Martin match, you're going to watch something that you enjoy. Hate the finishing move name. I think it's stupid. The nosedive. Come up with something better. That's just.
Give it time. Give it time.
But I mean, like, you're right, and the fact that he came back from an ACL tear, and I mean that's rough. I mean, look, we watch professional football players come back from ACL tears, and
Their entire
I mean,
career.
look, Carson Wentz guarded that knee. Jimmy Garoppolo guarded that knee like crazy. To do what he did last night and to come in and the bumps he was taking, the in and out of every kind of little niche of the match. Yeah, he had a little bit of rust, but you know what? He's 22 years old and he's got to be thinking, I want to be able to do this till I'm like 45, 42, whatever. So he's got to be careful and it is subconscious as much as anything else.
Oh yeah.
But
But I mean, you see that a lot with the football analogy. When running backs tear their ACL, they avoid contact. They become very
oh yeah.
scared
Yeah.
players.
They guys that you watch bulldoze for years, they hold up just a little bit. So, and I mean, and their gimmick is they're high flyers.
Yeah, so
But-
they gotta
They really got to be careful. So
I mean, but you could even have him transition to a like semi-hybrid with striking and high flying, where he like kind of like how Punk was, and
or
like
even
that type of style. Yeah.
like Angelico's got he can fly. I mean, Christ, go watch anything that says Lucha Underground on it, and that's all you see is him doing that.
Even Styles a little bit. He went away from the more high flying and yeah. So you can do stuff. There's ways to get around it.
Yeah, and obviously, he's so young, talented, and like you said, in 10 years they're the Bucks. But I hope the guy, like what Junior said though, with Jurassic Park taking a back seat to this.
Jurassic Park
or Jurassic Express.
They replaced Marco Stunt with Jeff Goldblum.
Dude, I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, actually, that would be awesome.
I honestly, like I said before, like I appreciate Jungle Boy's talent.
Oh yeah, he's good.
Part of the reason Luchasaurus is as sloppy as he is because of that mask. Like, I'm not doubting that mask doesn't play something, because the thing's smashed up against his face. You can't see peripheral. So even moves that we think should look crisp, that mask gets in the way. I really would just wish they would take the mask off of him and let him do face paint as a dinosaur. Like, I think that would be so much, and I think it would open up the potential more for him. And obviously, it goes back to his decision, but I still just think that they're going to look like shit in that match compared to the other two.
Oh my god, Jungle Boy will be okay because Jungle Boy has done stuff with.
Oh yeah,
but you're going to really see something with Luchasaurus. It has to. I don't know. You could see a weakness. I don't know if you will, to be fair, but there's a chance that he gets exposed. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. But the only thing is they're going to protect him the same way they protect him in every other match he's in. Just do big guy stuff.
And hot tags.
Yeah, big guy stuff. Just come in, do your choke slams. Those kicks. When he hits that tail whip legit, that does look pretty good. Yeah. And they're going to have him do his moonsault or whatever. Like he's going to have his spots, and they're going to protect him that way. Just do your spots. Do your thing. Don't do anything else. But are they going to – so have they clarified that, though? Is it it's a 3 tag team match, but, like, are we doing first pinfall win? Like, have they said that yet?
I haven't heard anything like that.
Like,
I think it's just, first pinfall or whatever. I think it's that.
Yeah, it's triple threat.
I hope they don't do something stupid that like WWE does, and I hate when they do this in triple threats. I hope it's one from each team
starts the match.
Yes, I hate when like Jurassic Express has to tag themselves in. That is the dumbest thing. I hate when they do that.
Yeah, because literally, if you want to, like, and honestly, I think what you're going to see is because in this scenario, Red Dragon is by far the heel group out of the storyline. Yes, we had heel tactics to win the match last night, but Red Dragon is your heel faction, your little heel tag team. I think you're going to see them ducking and dodging Matt and Nick the whole match. And if the way I see it finishing, and I'm not saying I agree with it, but the way I see it finishing is Red Dragon goes over by screwing the Bucks.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like that, Red Dragon's walking out with the titles. I just have that gut feeling.
I know this isn't exactly because WWE is more predictable this way, but I still like I told Papa earlier. I was like, yeah, I think if Red Dragon wins, you see Cole go over Page.
I don't think you do yet. I still think Tony has a lot of faith in Hangman.
Right.
I think where it falls though, and like we talked about before, is Hangman does by far do better chasing the title.
And that's every face champion though. And
yeah.
But if Kenny Omega comes back tomorrow night, don't put the title on Cole. Don't.
Right. I just don't like that they set Cole after him in the first place because I feel like you're in a booking corner with putting Cole after him now.
Yeah. I think.
No, my theory is that they love Adam Cole. They know what Adam Cole can do, but it's too soon to put the belt on him. I think he goes over Cole, and I still think they're building toward either. I don't know if they're going to send Brian after him again, or if they're building towards. Part of me thinks that the long-term plan, like the one who's going to dethrone Hangman, if it's not Kenny, depending on when he comes back, is MJF.
I would, yeah, that brought me to what I wanted to like the whole. I think MJF needs to win this match as well against Punk.
You know, I was thinking about this.
Okay, wait a minute. We're talking about Punk losing. I'm gonna have to mute Corey.
No. Hold on. So here's how I think you really should do it, and I think it advances two things at one time, right? I think you have MJF keep getting near falls. Spears comes down, referee distraction. Wardlow's already out there because we know he's going to be out there. They poured nuclear heat on that thing last night.
Yeah.
And with Wardlow's statement, well, the only reason I can't focus on my match is because I got to worry about helping you win yours. When he dropped, I really think what you can do is you can give Punk the win.
See, I knew it.
With Wardlow coming in and turning face, the full face turn. He comes in, annihilates MJF.
I think it's too soon for that.
I don't. Because here's why. Wardlow's getting so much backing now. The fans seem more invested when he comes out, more so than like your other big guys. You know what I mean? When Wardlow comes out, the fans start going nuts. How many times do you hear him screaming one more time? I'm 95% sure that we're going to see a match where Wardlow hits Kurt Angle suplex numbers on a power bomb. He's going to do 10. Like that's just, I foresee that coming. He's going to do 10 power bombs, the power bomb symphony. I think it's time because the other problem is right now on your face side, everybody's tied up except for him. He's tied up in that storyline, but I think they know what they have with him. And I think it is time to just pull the plug. And where Punk is the reason he gets his job.
I think he helps. He's the reason that MJF beats Punk. And that fact is what eventually becomes the tipping point when he turns on him. Because he's not going to give him the credit.
Right,
and that's going to be what pushes him over. I don't think it's going to be there. I don't think it's going to be at the pay-per-view or at Revolution. Oh, yeah, I guess we can say pay-per-view for that one. At that premium live event. And then that's what, because I think to do it at Revolution, I think would be like not necessarily so much too soon, but I think it needs to simmer a couple of more incidents before it just boils over. Like last night was now the wheels are going.
But they've been teaching this for a long time.
Yeah. But you have a moment like that, then you let it simmer a little bit. And then the next moment's even bigger. And you're just building the audience anticipation towards, like, okay, is it going to be now? No. Is it going to be now? No. Okay, well, he didn't do it last time. Oh, there it is.
Right.
That kind of so.
I just want to really go on record by saying one thing. Wardlow, by far, is one of the best big men right now because he's not your atypical stand there with your arms crossed, look like a badass. His facial expressions and his actions, even the little slight things that he's doing are what's making him the star he's going to be. Because he's good.
Him getting over now is what they wanted for Cage.
Yes. But I really want to know. I mean, there has to be something else there with Cage because it happened in Impact, it happened on the Indies, and now it happened in Impact. It happened in Lucha Underground, right? It happened in. There's got to be something there. There has to be, because there's no reason why it keeps happening to the same guy over and over again, who is crazy athletic.
Yeah.
Great, like he by far has to be one of the best high flyers at that size that I've ever seen in my life. Simple as that. The dude's chiseled, and he flies like a luchador. He makes a Hurricane Rana look good. There has to be something else, whether it's entitlement or I don't know. I don't want to speak ill of him, but Brian Cage, there has to be more to the story, and until somebody actually can give us what that story is.
Okay, so we've been finally joined by Golden Boy Kevin.
You know I'm in the mountain time zone.
So all right,
Put it
well,
on-
since he missed the entire AEW talk, so let's talk about something else. Like, hey, did anybody else catch the McAfee interview?
I did.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Incredible interview.
Yeah.
He's really McAfee's just one of those guys. It's like, man, this guy's literally anything you have him do, he's really, really good at it.
The guy has such a way of making people let their guard down. Like Vince today is just dropping F-bombs left and right. Like he was comfortable. Like obviously it takes a little bit, whatever, but he was comfortable
Right.
there. And Pat was nervous, man. You could see it in his face.
Yeah.
Listen to the first hour of it on Sirius and I end up cutting it off at 3:00 because that's when their time slot ends. And I had to go back and watch it on YouTube and listen. And you could see it in Pat's face and his mannerisms. Like that dude was nervous today. But my God, it was such a good interview.
But
And it feels weird because he got away with some questions that you don't think he should have, or you know what I mean, like
Well,
Like
and
the
I'm
drop
sure-
in AEW.
Well, and again, I'm sure they go in, they were talking about it to an extent, and Vince isn't dumb. Like Vince knows this is, Vince is, doing this for the first time in 15 years. He knows like run in to let our guard down a little bit and, talk and, be personable and this and that. So
is anybody else surprised by the fact that McAfee's the only person in WWE that's allowed to do that?
I'm going to say no, because out of all like the interviewers and podcasters and all that other shit, like he's the only one that like really works for the company, right?
I mean, like that maybe Sam Robertson, but that would be the closest.
But he doesn't have a following.
Yes, he does.
Sam Roberts?
Yes.
It's not a McAfee following, but it's
not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I agree with your point, but I think the closest would have been Robertson.
Yeah, but like the thing with Sam Roberts is
annoying.
one.
Super.
Have you ever listened to his podcast though? When he gets, because like when he got Gage on, he was the one that got Gage to really open up, and that was the podcast that kind of fueled the whole Gage being this bigger than life kind of guy.
So you're
And he-
comparing Vincent Kennedy McMahon to Pizza Cutter Boy?
No, I'm
Oh
not
my God.
trying to validate the fact that Sam Roberts is a good podcaster and he is a good interviewer. But Pat McAfee has that it personality.
You're validating the fact that Sam Roberts can get a criminal on his podcast.
I dare you.
A
to go to
criminal.
I dare you to go to a GCW show.
Between
I dare
three
you.
of us on this show, we've dealt with probably like 50,000 criminals. And you're impressed with Sam Roberts and him getting one with a pizza cutter. Get the
No, I'm impressed by the fact that he got him to open up as much as he did and got Gage to actually come out with information that Gage has never talked about. Never.
Conversation
never
is not
opened
going
up
where I
about
thought it was going to.
I don't know what happened.
What I'm still saying is McAfee has the it factor, okay? Sam Roberts is not on that level. That's what my statement is. That's it.
Sam Roberts is on his level.
No, he's not on his level.
Oh my God. Thank God you're saying that. Thank God.
McAfee is up here. Roberts is down here. Roberts is more of a underground guy, and McAfee's more your mainstream guy because you watched him in the NFL. You watched what he did with the podcast with Cole and
Palamalu.
Can we talk about how asshole Palamalu is?
You know, this is
And there
seriously
he
like
is.
the
He's right
biggest,
there in the C gap.
this is seriously like the biggest interview that anybody's
Oh
got.
no, it was great. I'm not saying.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Not
not
even in the wrestling world.
No,
Huge interview.
it was huge. And the whole thing is one the different announcements that he made in there. I don't think there's anybody else that should put the Undertaker into the Hall of Fame except for Vince, because the amount of loyalty that the Undertaker showed Vince through everything. That's definitely who should be putting him in. Because obviously Paul Bearer can. That would have been the only other person that I could ever see.
Kane would have been the
Kane.
next closest.
Yeah, Kane to me too.
Oh yeah, I mean but Vince by far is going to be.
Yeah.
It's not Paul Bearer. It's got to be Vince, and if it's not Vince, then it has to be Kane.
But
Like,
before
I don't
this,
think him now. I think he's
And if it's not Kane, it's got to be Maven.
no Mick Foley. Mick Foley
Who?
would be Mick Foley.
oh, I thought Maven Foley or something. I don't know.
No, Mick Foley. The hardcore.
Well, before this, and him, announcing that he's going to be the one inducting him, like I think a lot of people said that he should be the one, but did anybody really think it was going to happen?
No.
No,
Definitely had 100%.
Really know
because
It's gonna be
he stays detached from it. Like,
Yeah.
yes, it's his thing, but Vince never puts, and I think we're seeing Vince McMahon, the businessman, and the man, not Vince McMahon, the character that struts to the ring and does all. This is legit Vince McMahon, the man,
Sure.
and he separates both extremely well. So when he introducts him, I think we're going to see emotion that we've never seen out of Vince McMahon.
I agree.
I don't think you'll ever. I don't think that's emotion that there might be 5 people on the planet that have seen it.
Yeah, Vince got a little choked up today, even just announcing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I
Which
think
is awesome.
I think you're going to see tears come out of his eyes that are true tears because he does appreciate, and he realizes how much the Undertaker actually helped build that business from where it was. Because yes, WWF was a big thing, but Undertaker took it to a whole new level and help it transcend into what it is now.
Absolutely. And as far as loyalty to a company goes, I mean, you can't name one wrestler that's been more loyal to one company.
Yes, I can.
Who you got?
Yeah.
Good to me.
Sting.
For
Sting.
one company?
110%. When anybody discusses it, the 2 most loyal names in the business that you hear time and time and time and time again are Sting and Taker, because Sting never left. Sting went through the bleach blonde, high top cut, face paint phase the whole way through the crow. Yeah, the whole way through the crow
I'll
phase,
be right back.
right to the last thing. Those are the only 2 guys that you can say have the loyalty. And yes, he did go there. So, he wrestled. Yes, he did. WCW had been dead by many years that time.
Yeah.
Real quick, that little yow thing that might have came out of Junior's mouth. Junior, was that you or was that Mr. Popo meowing?
No, he went like,
I did this thing. I did the wow, but I didn't.
No, I know you did. I thought maybe it was Mr. Popo, and that's why I had to leave for a second.
Maybe.
Yeah,
But
Kurt,
no.
the only thing I agree to the that point, but like the thing is about Taker is the longevity was a lot more of him staying loyal to a company than Sting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but-
it's just unfortunately his Sting's died. Sting would have been there even if it was like a D show.
Sting.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But you got it. Okay. But you also got to, if you really want to talk about loyalty, this is how loyal he was. He wrestled the last match on WCW television.
In a T-shirt.
Okay, but he wrestled the very last match on. Like, you got to think about it because he was with that company for years, and he went through thick and thin with them when they hit the lowest of the low. And we're talking Vampiro feud low, because that was they were both good in the ring, but come on, that feud was terrible. That was terrible. And it did nothing for Vampiro except for make him look like a lunatic, which is what they were going for. But Sting has that loyalty. Taker has that loyalty. Because Turner was down there in Atlanta going, I'll write you a check right now. Tell me the amount. And Taker went, nah, because I wasn't good enough when I was there before. So I'll stay up north.
Yeah, but
it was the same
job, man. Like Taker did for Maven. He never did a job like that, man.
Who didn't?
Loyalty.
Who didn't? I did.
Undertaker did.
And Sting did too. When they were trying
For
to
who?
Go back and watch the New Blood stuff. You know you're full of crap. He put over O'Hare and all that whole little.
Sean O'Hare was a genetic freak. One of the best senton bombs ever.
Who?
Like how we went from Sam Roberts is the exact same as Pat McAfee, all the way to Sting is more loyal than the Undertaker. I don't know how that happened, but I like it.
But legit, like the loyalty aspect, we get it. And the other thing is, I like how he put out there too with, "Hey McAfee, you're wrestling at WrestleMania."
Oh yeah, just like here you go.
Okay.
By the way.
All right,
So,
so
Junior, who do you think's he's going to wrestle?
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Who's it gonna be?
Oh man, I mean,
Because it doesn't seem like it's gonna be Vince.
next logical solution
shouldn't be.
that would be Theory.
Yeah.
I think because I like to, but the one thing that as soon as I heard him say it, I heard Junior in the back of my head going, "That's 3 celebrities on this show. That's 3. We only need. That's 3."
I'm okay with McAfee because he's actually wrestled. I don't
Right.
care about Logan Paul whatsoever, and Johnny Knoxville's just going to take bumps, which fine, cool, get a couple pops.
Yeah, I like the Johnny Knoxville thing only because it's been going on for a little while. So that's kind of fun.
Right.
Oh yeah, I don't really give 2 shits about.
If
And
it's
he's
not,
been ready.
but if it's not Theory, who else could it be? Because McAfee only does SmackDown. So how are you going to over to have? You know what I mean? That was
Yeah.
because
The only thing I
too.
can think of with Theory is, well, that's Vince's guy, and Vince had said, "Hey, I like you. I want you to wrestle. How my 2 guys go at it would be the only.
like
thing I
that.
can say.
Yeah.
I like that match.
But
Oh, yeah,
I mean, I don't-
McAfee, for not being a trained guy who's been doing this forever, with Theory, who's very much an upper, like he's going to be your future star. That's future build right there.
unless you have, I don't know, somebody come up. I don't really remember who else he.
What?
Who else he
Braun
rubbed wrong
Breaker.
in. I was like, I don't know who he rubbed wrong in NXT besides the Undisputed Era, but I don't think Roddy would go up to the main roster.
He can't. He's in UK.
How awesome would it be if just because of the work angle and the backstage stuff you've been hearing, if it was Shane McMahon? Would you be?
I said that.
Yeah, I said Michael Cole might would be funny too.
No, of course.
To see him punt kick Michael Cole, and if it was,
Corey Graves would be
you
great.
didn't have to hear Cole commentate the rest of the match.
I think
Corey-
Corey Graves would be great.
Corey,
That would be a good one.
he's cleared. And listen, some people say they didn't like him, but when you go back and watch his stuff, what he was doing with Neville, and all that stuff.
Adrian Neville.
Yeah,
And he's got the forget what I was gonna say.
the reality
That-
show.
Like Graves was going.
Oh
to
yeah, no,
be-
Graves has the pedigree because he's a former 24/7 champ.
I'll say Graves was you. I honestly could have seen him being like the.
Now you know
I
why I
hate-
forgot it.
I hate comparing this, but like he would have been the next Punk, I think, coming up through NXT.
Well, and that's what they were literally. That's what they were trying to do with him. The purveyor of Phil,
Yeah.
like all that. That's what they were trying to do.
I
Because,
just don't like comparing to other people like that, though. Like you got to be your own guy. But
yeah, but he was because
yeah,
Punk was straight edge, where Corey Graves was the underground. Like he was the
Graves was drunk.
but I don't know. I mean, whoever they give him a match with, listen, not for nothing, McAfee's put on 2 hell of a great. Like
Yep.
you really enjoyed them from beginning to end, and
Yeah.
even in 4 games with
Four
Dive. I mean,
That dude-
that
Second
War Games.
match was War Games. Like, why you don't put somebody in a War Games if they're not gonna show up? Yeah.
he's a freak. I mean, look, the dude was booming what 60, 65-yard punts like it was nothing.
Well, that's too many of those punts.
But I mean, but when he would kick right into the second 2-yard line or within the 5 and that strut, or even when a guy broke down the field and you just watch him launch himself, he's like, "Oh, screw it, I'm a punter. Wait, what's that mean? I'm just gonna bash the hell out of this guy on the sideline."
Well, he might do that same strut when he punched Shane McMahon's head 10 rows deep.
I would love that. Actually,
You're gonna see Shane pop up anytime soon.
I just think it would be a wild storyline because just everybody getting worked that he got fired after the Rumble.
Yeah. Well,
So who else we got? We got Shane McMahon. We got Austin Theory. Grump, who are you thinking?
Actually, I was thinking I like the idea of Theory. I think that story works. I would also be okay watching him be the one in Michael Cole's 2-1.
wait, he's not two. He didn't.
If
Yeah,
Michael Cole-
he's 2-0 at WrestleMania.
If
when
Michael
when's
Cole,
the second one?
One was Lawler, and I forget who the other one was.
if Cole
swear
shows
to
up, he's
God.
not even gonna know. He's gonna, hey, we're gonna do a blue thunder bomb, and next thing you know, he DDTs a guy on the head. He's gonna break his neck. That's what he's supposed to do. Wait, what bump am I taking? Oh shit! There he goes.
The less Michael Cole on screen, the better. So if it's Michael Cole, I mean,
He's a treasure.
He is.
Stop.
who?
That lady. Oh my God.
Yeah, tell that story real quick while I look this up.
I screamed and booed Michael Cole when he came out at Mania.
Oh no, he's 1-0. I'm sorry.
And that's what I thought. Anyway,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, Michael Cole sucks. I can't stand Michael Cole. This lady, who I call my personal space heater at WrestleMania, sat next to me and she goes, Michael Cole's a bean. He's a treasure. and from the rest of the show, I made sure that she didn't have a good time.
Thank God. She doesn't deserve. People can say whatever they want at shows, but there are consequences, and the consequence of
Nope.
treasure is that you are not going to have a good time at WrestleMania.
Tell the Roman Reigns story.
Oh my God. So I'm sitting there, and there's this kid behind me the whole time.
Was this the same WrestleMania?
Oh, I've only been to one.
I've been to one.
I mean,
dude.
was this the same event? I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
same Mania. Well, or it's Mania. So, and this kid, every time anyone took a bump, he said, "Ooh, he needs some milk." Every time. So I noticed he was wearing a Roman Reigns shirt. And it was Drew versus Reigns. And as soon as Drew came out at the top of my lungs, so the entire 300 section could hear, I screamed, "Let's go, Drew. Send his career back into remission." I didn't hear the kid the rest of the show.
Jesus.
I feel bad
Brutal.
for ruining his entire night, but I was sick to death of hearing he needs some milk.
So
Like
proud.
That definitely tops my John Cena
And I got
comment.
yelled at by 2 drunk people for that comment too. So it was a good time.
Oh my God.
So what else can we talk about since
Well, we can talk about those of us who actually went to SmackDown, even though some of us said they were going and didn't
I don't
go.
want to hear it. You have no idea how upset and frustrated I was at that point. Because they go, "Hey, yeah, he's gotta go." And I'm like, "What? It's 2:00 and you're just now telling me this?" I didn't get to my house until 8:30 because of that BS. But all in all, from what I heard from my buddy that hooked me up with the tickets or whatever like that, he said that show was terrible.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
He said it was just terrible.
So I will say this. The number one thing I'm taking out of it is I do enjoy how there was like some national talk kind of about how it was a legit sellout, which made me happy. Because I think I said about that last week, like
Yeah.
she needed to sell out because we want more TV to come. Now, the things you're talking about, Curry, and I haven't really talked about it with Junior and Grump, but I do feel that way. And as the show not being great for the lot, it probably was good on. It was good on TV, but for the live show, it was tough, man, because there was so much lull. There was just so much downtime. Nothing's going on. And I've been to TV shows. I get how TV works. I know how it works. But like, just between all the talking segments, you have guys coming out, an entrance for 15 seconds, and then it goes to commercial, and then this and that. Like, it was so much downtime. It was so much extra downtime. That's how I felt.
I did like the McAfee minute though.
Yeah, the McAfee minute was entertaining. You know,
But how did when Brock came out to do the face to face with Roman, like from what I saw and read, and the little snippets that WWE puts out on Twitter and stuff like that, it just seemed like it was like the whole way across. Like no, there wasn't any screams one way or another. It just felt like it was like a dead moment.
Brock got a pop.
Yeah, Brock
Yeah.
got a decent pop.
But I'm talking when they were in the ring with the face off. Everybody,
I think we're all conditioned to just kind of wait out these contract signings until the actual action at the end.
yeah.
I'm
Like
still
it's a
not-
meme at this point.
I'm still not happy about it. I hate title versus title. I hate it.
Yeah, and apparently WWE kind of forgot the definition of unification because the word is that they're not combining them both into one title. They're gonna whoever wins.
Holds
I'm
both
not
up.
gonna say who I think is gonna win, but his name
When
rhymes
Roman-
with Roman Reigns.
it's going to be a Becky Lynch thing.
Whoever, yeah, it's gonna be like it's gonna be Roman or Brock 2 belts for a while, and then eventually they're gonna split them back up. But you're gonna have the one guy doing both shows, and I think that's kind of gonna be a ratings thing because if you can get Brock on both Raw or Roman, obviously, but I'm just saying, if you can get Brock and or Roman on both Raw and SmackDown every week, you should, in theory, get a bit of a ratings bump.
Yeah.
I mean,
But the only thing that I think is kind of rough with that is, and not knocking either one of those guys, not at all. Why Becky pulled it off is because that gimmick was really, I don't want to say over. She just really pulled the gimmick well.
Yeah.
She was at that time. She was at that right spot at the right time. Her career was right where it needed to be for that. The only way that this works out for anybody is if Roman goes over and can continue with the head of the table. Because honestly, like we've said before, that's the only thing across the board that has been entertaining consistently for the last year. Like consistently, it has been entertaining. Consistently, it's been your top storyline. And consistently, Roman Reigns has done a very good spot in that position, which we've all been screaming for years. He's a better heel than he is a face. He has that image. Let him be what he is. Don't John Cena him. And that was what I think the biggest issue was.
doing.
And I don't think
No, and he was, because it was marketability.
I don't think you take the combined title holder thing past SummerSlam. I think
No,
when
I don't even
yeah.
think you should get past June. Like I don't even think.
but
I don't even think you
SummerSlam
should-
at the latest.
Yeah, I don't think it should get to SummerSlam. I don't care if you come over.
Depends on the ratings.
Yeah,
Yeah. What I would like to see as just a little bonus add on to this, if Roman wins, because it's no guarantee that Roman wins, but if Roman wins, I would like to see the Usos go after the Raw Tag Team titles as well.
That'd be cool. But
which
yeah,
again, that
Now
would be,
draped in gold.
well, but you know what? I mean, didn't they just do? Somebody just did the top 10 factions that carried all the gold. I don't know if it was what culture. I don't remember who it was. Somebody did it, and yeah, it makes sense. Have them be draped in gold. I don't even care. Have whichever Uso deserves to be higher rating in the video game.
Jay,
Have him win the United States title. I don't
Off
wanna-
of Fergal.
No,
Virgo.
He's always going to be Fergal to me.
It'll always be Fergal to me.
No, I don't. Honestly, you know what? I don't want to see him take it off of that, off of Fergal, but have them win those titles, and then have somebody help lead it. Like I don't even care who you're going to bring up, Solo or whatever his name is, and have him come up and just start annihilating.
Sikoa. Yeah.
Like, you know,
By the way, side note, I like that dude.
He's
Uh,
good.
Dude, he got his ass beat by Gunther.
Yeah, but who hasn't?
Just saying. You thought maybe he'd put up a fight.
That's like that's almost
Kicking that ass.
just
You
like
know,
get it.
you know what Samoan hasn't? Roman.
What, got his ass beat by Gunther?
He has not.
He will.
no, he won't.
Really?
No, he won't. You're terrible. You're
I, mean,
so
I like the concept of the whole "this is my show" changing that gimmick to "this is my company" when he has both titles. I think that works the best. Like what Truth was saying. I think that's the only way that works.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, Roman Reigns doesn't get the credit he deserves
No.
because we all felt the same way. And I mean, we've all talked about it very, very openly amongst each other. You know, Reigns was your Cena,
Yeah.
who before that, you know, it was, I mean, honestly, during the Attitude Era, there wasn't a guy that was shoved down your throat. Ruthless aggression, as soon as ruthless aggression came around, it was, dee, dee, dee. Here, take him. Nope, shut up, take him again. Nope, shut up, take him again.
Where it became noticeable.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's even with, if you want to throw it back to old school, even Hogan only held that title 3 times.
Yeah.
And yes, he was your main guy. He main evented at countless shows, pay-per-views, whatever. But Hogan at the right time, I can't even look at the bottom corner right there. Hogan at the time was your main guy because he actually transcended past wrestling at that point. Reigns was a victim of the John Cena curse. You just keep shoving him. No matter what happens, no matter how loud the fans are, no matter how many people are saying, dude, just be a heel. Vince is like, nah, good money. Nope, stay face. Now that you actually let him go over, if I'm not mistaken, his merch has gone up. His name quality has gone up, where fans aren't literally, as soon as he walks out, they're not booing him because he's been shoved down their throat. They're booing him because he's that good of a heel. It's a difference.
Yeah.
Perfect ending.